Hi, I am David Yort and I want to showcase a game that I made. This game is named Miskatonic Confidential and it's a Lovecraftian game. In this game, you have to solve a case like this between a set of different cases that the game has. And in order to do this, you will be playing with the main character between a roster of different ones. There are a total of 8 different characters with different skills, different stats, and different initial equipment and different lore. And those cars here represent the map of the game. Here is where we will be moving. This is our town, and the objective is to move through the map and investigate and do several actions in order to fulfill the case. The, there are some common actions that you can do anywhere, that it's like walk, investigate, use item, get resources, but there are other actions that you need to be in a specific place in order to do it. You can research in the mansion or in the university, but you cannot do it in the slums. But in the slums, you can work. In the hospital, you can heal. You can buy different elements in different locations. So basically, you have also to move, and it's more important to take this into account because we'll have a time limit. So we'll have to work smart in order to not lose time doing unnecessary movements. Let's check the rest of the cars. Uh, Basically, this is the character that we'll use in display, and we have a main inventory card with different objects that you can have: meds, drugs, weapon, armor, magic, money. We have here a card that is used for the relics and the knowledge. We have another card to track the health and the sanity. Those are in the initial value. And we have another tracker that is used to track the enemy hit points when there is a combat, and also to track the doom, that it's basically the time that we have until the world ends if we don't solve the case. And here we'll have the stack of events that are the different events that we'll find during the game and the different cases. And here we have a small card that is a reminder of the rules. So let's do the preparation, the configuration of the play. We already have selected the case, we have selected the main character, we have all the tokens in the zeros on the map. Those are, those are the specific XP that we gain in each location. I'll explain later why. So basically here we already have the health and sanity. We only need to put the initial value on the keep. So we have weapon 2, we have money 2, and we have drugs 2. And with this we can already start the game. The game happens in different rounds, and basically first we'll have the player round, and then we'll have the doom round, that is where there are the mythos and we'll have to solve events. In this game you don't have any specific number of actions, but you have a specific number of action dice. This means that every action where you have to roll, you have to assign at least one action dice. So, for example, if we want to move move to the slums, we'll need to use one action dice to move to the slums. If then in the slums we'll want to work, we'll be doing a strength test, for example, but we have to invest at least one action dice. This means that doing a work control with Mike that has 4 on a strength will use 4 skill dice and also at least one action dice. Then we'll roll all of them and we'll check the number of successes. A success is 5 or a 6. Those are successes. And in this case, if that was a legit roll, we will have done 2 successes, so we will have earned 4 money. Basically, this is the system. So let's do now a real turn. So let's start playing the game. Let's check case 1, the frozen corpse. Corpse has been turning on in Arkansas slums. That's not unusual, but those felt unnaturally cold, like death itself has chilled them to the bone. You decide to investigate the area further, and you have to get 5 slums XP. The XP of the different locations are basically achieved when you fulfill events on it. There are 2 ways to get events. At the end of the turn, we'll have to do a mandatory event, but you can force to have more events if you want to go further using the action investigate. But let's start the game. The first thing that we'll need is to move into the slums. So here we have 4 actions, and we'll use one of the action dice in order to move. Okay, we have a 3, that means that we can move up to 3. So here slums cost 1. If we want, if we wanted, we could go to the hospital, but we want to remain here in the slums. And with this, we spend one of the 4 dice that we have for the round. Now, instead of forcing an event, what we'll do is to work. Work, we can use either persuasion or strength, and basically depending on the amount of successes we'll get more or less money. So we have 4 strength, so probably with 1 dice it will be enough. So we'll combine 1 action dice with the 4 dice that grant us the strength skill, and let's throw it. Okay, we have only 1 success here. Okay, successes are 5 or 6, but there is one special thing that we can do, that it's to improve 1 success using an item. Weapon are used to increase the strength test, armor for body, magic for mind, and money is used to improve the persuasion skills. So here in this case we can use weapon that we have 2 in order to have 2 face rolls. So to modify either these 2, 4 to 5, for example. So we'll spend this weapon. So from 2 we'll have 1, and we can change to dice. So this 4 will change it for a 5, and this 4 will change it for a 5. So we already have then 3 successes, and that will mean that we'll get 6 of money. So from 2 we'll go to 8, and now because we are on the slums, we can do this action of buy, and buy allows us to buy weapon, armor or drugs here, and we have to pay the cost of the slot. So we'll spend 2 in order to recover the weapon to 2 as we had before, and we'll use 3 to put the armor up to 2. We pay 1 and then 2, and we'll keep the money at 3, and we have still 2 dice on this round, but instead of using it in working mode or doing any other thing, we'll go straight to the end of the round, and we'll do the event. This means that the event we will be able to use those 2 dice. In order to do the event of the doom phase, we'll need to roll a random card from here. When it's in the physical cards, we'll get the bottom card of the stack in order to get sure that we don't know beforehand what it's the event that we'll have. But here in the tabletop simulator, what I'll do is simply show shuffle just before getting the event. And okay, let's see. This is our event. Here in the cards we have events that cover all the different locations. So if we are in the hospital, we'll have to fulfill this condition, this event. But we are here in the slums, so we'll have to fulfill the ambush. Late at night, a figure lunges from the shadow, hands sinking around your throat. It's an ambush. You don't know who he is, but it's clear that he won you off the case. Roll a strength to find him off. So here we are pretty well, because this is a strength skill. We have 4 of strength, and also we still have 2 dice left. Different locations have different kind of events. So usually in the slums there are way more strength events, but in the university there are more mind events. So you have to be careful if you have a character that has only one mind. So you don't want to be on the university too much. Okay, so we'll try to fulfill this strength check. Okay, so we have 2 successes, this 5 and this 5. So basically we success completely, and that means that we earn 2 XP, 2 meds and 1 drugs. Meds we had 0, now we have 2. Drugs we have 2, so adding 1 we have 3. So basically the more you have, the more worthy it's to get them by the events. And 2 XP, but our character gets double XP when he fulfill events on the slums. So we have 4. But that's not enough because we needed to have 5. So we won't be able to solve this paragraph in this turn. Now we have to fulfill the part of the mythos. So basically here in the same card that we fulfill, we'll check the effects that we'll have depending on the difficulty. We'll be playing in normal difficulty, so basically easy it's 1 tentacle, normal is 2 tentacles, and hard are 3 tentacles. So basically, and the effects are accumulative. So in normal I have to fulfill this effect here and this effect here. This effect, well, it's basically one tomb less, so instead of 10 we have 9. And this one, it implies that we get one chaos in the university. Chaos, it's basically here. Chaos is basically a system where some places are generating chaos. The problem of the chaos is that when you have chaos, you have to solve an event in the location to take away the chaos. If you don't have it and you accumulate too much chaos and you have to put a chaos token and you don't have anyone left, you will lose directly the game. So okay, that has been used, and we finish the first round. And now we have to decide what to do. With the new round, we get back the 4 action dice. Okay, and now we don't want to wait until the end of the round in order to fulfill the necessary XP. So what we'll do is to investigate. Investigate, basically we decide to invest a certain number of dice, for example only one, and we'll do one event. So we'll shuffle and we'll check what's owed them. We have a combat, and we only spend one dice. So well, a combat is a kind of event where we will be doing attacks and defense and rolls. Okay, and basically when we fulfill attacks, we'll do different amount of damage. So for example, this enemy has 12 hit points. For each hit point that we do using a strength, we'll take away 3 of hit points. So basically we'll need to hit him 4 times to win. But if we were using mind with magic, it will be even more difficult because each attack will be done only doing 2 of damage. Okay, and each time that he attacks us, he will be doing 3 hit points damage. In the case that we lose, that we retire, that we decide to not play, we'll be losing 2 XP on the location. But if we win, we can get 4 XP and 3 of knowledge. So let's start. First of all, let's do the attack. One of the problems that has the combat is that the dice that you allocate are used only for one round, one attack and defense. So basically, if you had, so basically these dice will be spent after one attack and one defense, and the next turns I will do it only with the skill dice. But let's go here. Okay, that's good. So basically I have one success, two successes. Okay, the enemy hit points, it was in 12. Okay, and now with two successes it will be in 6. It's okay. And now the enemy will attack us. He will do it by default 3 of damage, but in order to prevent it we have to do a body check. So basically body is 3, that means that we have 3 dice and the action dice, and we got nothing. So what means having nothing? That will mean that we'll get those 3 damage. But instead I will use the armor. With the armor I'll use those 2 points to convert this 4 into 5 and this 4 into 5. And now I blocked 2 of damage, so instead of 3 damage he will be doing me only 1 damage. Okay, and now the we have to do the attack of the next round. In this case I don't have already these dice, I will be using only the skill die, and I have to have 2 successes, so let's try. Perfect, I have 3 successes, so I make 9 hit points of damage to the enemy is dead, and I'll get 8 XP because of the double XP in those rounds, and 3 of knowledge. So 3 of knowledge, and also the 8 XP. We already have 4, so we cannot use all of this. So okay, we have 9, this is the maximum that we can have, and this was only the first action that we did in the round. When you fulfill the requirements of a paragraph, you jump automatically in the next one. So basically we'll take away 5 XP and we'll read the second paragraph. You gather some clues, but you get a closer look at the bodies. You'll have to brief the cops, since the corpses were already sent to the hospital and are now locked away in the morgue. So for this we'll need 6 money and 3 XP. Okay, here we have to check. On one side we need to go to the hospital, but in the other side we have here the this university chaos, that it can be complicated. For example, there are some cards, some effects that subtract you things depending of the amount of chaos that it's on the map. So here we can do 2 things to try to move to the hospital and fulfill this as fast as possible. And I think that we'll do this because later on we'll have to go to the university. So because we need 6 of money and we only have 3, let's work first. So we'll use 1 dice, test of strength. Okay, these are 5 and 6. two successes, so the money goes from 3 to 7. And basically, we have to go to the hospital, so we'll need to spend another one of our dice. Okay, 4. We needed only a 2 to root this. So, okay, we are here. And we have one dice that it's better to leave it for the to leave this single dice for the event that we have to fulfill. And if we can fulfill a 3 XP event, then we'll be able to fulfill also this step. So let's try. Uh, this was an old one. Okay, shuffle. What we have here in the hospital? Okay, this is a problem. The strange bird, an ornithologist's friend, accidentally reveals a remarkable discovery. A fierce reason knows to science absent you from any book, but something feels wrong. You suspect it could be an eldritch being. Roll mind to uncover the truth. We have only one mind. The good part is that if we somehow fulfill this, we'll be able to get 3 XP, but this is really difficult. Let's try one thing. We have 3 of knowledge, and knowledge can be changed for magic anytime. So we'll spend this 3 in order to have this. We'll only have 2 dice, but who knows, maybe we have luck and we have values that can give us 2 successes. Okay, that has been perfect. Basically, the action dice has another advantage, that the action dice, the 6 is counted as a double success. This happens only with the action dice, not the regular skill dice. So in this case, we've been lucky, and we fulfill also this event. Okay, so basically we got the 3 XP and we got one ally. And well, probably this ornithologist friend got it's now our ally, or maybe it's the strange bird our ally. But in any case, we get one ally. One ally, it can be used in order to get one extra die in any of the stats. So I will use it here on mind in order to at least being able to play 2 skill dice with mind controls. And now before anything, we have to solve. The condition of the para has been fulfilled, so before anything else, we jump. Let me check. Money to 1, XP to 0. Um, there's no question, the free seems for magical origin, be a spell or creature. You have to dig deep into research or perhaps seek assistance at Miskatonic University. And we need to fulfill either 8 of knowledge or 4 XP in Miskatonic University. But before, we have to solve the chaos. The chaos will have one doom dropping from 9 to 8, also we'll have one encounter for each chaos in the map. That's the problem of not solving the chaos in the map. This means that we'll have one encounter. What means to have one encounter? It means that we'll get one of the random cards from here. Okay, we have the zombie. Okay, basically this means that we have an encounter in the woods that it will be the zombie. We can keep this as a reminder, and basically if we enter somehow in the woods, we'll have to fulfill this encounter if we want to exit that location. The good part is that right now the woods are far away from where we want to go, so I think that it's okay. The important part is that we need to go to the university in order to fulfill the next paragraph, and because we don't have any knowledge and we have very few mind, so it's difficult for us to gain knowledge. Uh, the best way it will be to go to the university. So next round we'll use one die to move. 5. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We can be already here. And now we can do also one thing that is named the fund ally, but we don't have too much money. Money is usually useful to gain allies. Having two, well, maybe. Okay, in order to get allies, basically, you have to roll for persuasion, and you have to get more successes than the current number of allies. We have one ally that we got through an event. So basically, if we want to have another ally, we need to make two successes. I think that I will risk. Hmm, well, yeah, I'll risk. So, okay, that dice was used for movement, and I'll use those dice. The problem is that I don't have enough money to re-roll dice if I don't get the success, and I will have then lost all those action dice, but it's okay. Yeah, so I basically lost two important dice in this round. I only have one dice to play, and there is another problem. We want to get 4 XP for in this location, but the problem is that here we already have chaos. In order to take away the chaos, we need to win one event, but in this case we won't gain anything. So our reward it will be to take away the chaos. Okay, so with the dice that I have left, let's check what we have here. Oh, oh, yeah, we have a problem here. That it's that we have a combat, part is that it depends on the strength, and it will give us 4 XP. So maybe it's not so bad that we got this. Okay, we only have one action dice, so we'll try to do as much damage as possible. Okay, what we have here, one of damage only, and we need to do 5 to kill it. Okay, let's check. 10 XP. It's worth it to use a weapon now or later. I think that I will use it. I'll do only 2 of damage. Let's roll the defense. Okay, for this I will definitively use the armor. I forgot to buy more armor, so now I'm using 1 to convert this 4 into 5, and I only getting 2 damage, but this can be a problem. So next round, and I'm already out of action dice, so I will be using, oh, well, I used the defense with 4 dice, so you only should have to use 3 dice, but it's okay. Basically, I need to do the attack of this new round. Whoa. And that's bad. That's bad, and I'm starting to think the problem is that losing 2 is something that I cannot really afford, because if I lose 2 doom here and another one at the end of the round, I mean, I have to be okay. Defense, well, at least I only lost 1 damage, and another attack. Only 1, so 4 to 6. The other values are too far away, so it's not worthy. Okay. Okay, I lose 2 damage, and this is not going well. Let's check, maybe we have luck. Okay. Uh, okay, we'll use 1 in order to convert this 3 in a 5. So, but, sorry, I'll need to roll. Okay, so 2 more damage. One thing, we can use meds to heal even in combat. So basically, this is not costing any action, so 2 goes to 1 that I recovered. Okay, and now let's roll the final one. Okay, yeah, 6, so I kill the enemy. Here is where I can choose if I keep the advantage or if I use it to take away the doom. I think that having the 4 XP it's crucial. right now. So I'll get the rewards. Weapons go to 2, magic goes to 3, and I have the 4 XP that basically are automatically cash. So this goes to 0 again. But we're reading the next. Okay, a strange temperature shift has been set around the area lately after measuring various spots. It's clear the mansion lies at the heart of the unsettling phenomenon 6XP in the mansion. So, okay, now we have to check -1 of doom and no other effects. Okay, and yeah, not so bad. I mean, I advanced quite a lot. I mean, the last paragraph, and I have already have still 7 doom, so we are okay. But uh, fulfilling this 6 XP is not the only necessary thing that I have to do. I have to heal, for example, before the final boss. I'll need to get more resources. It will be awesome if also I could get one relic, because there are relics quite powerful that will give me one extra dice or one action dice, because the final combat usually it's very complicated. You'll have to dig in with all your action dice, but it's you have to use weapons, magic, armor for sure, because the amount of damage that it makes it's too big. The amount of hit points that it has is also very huge. So it's not only fulfilling this, it's before fulfilling this, because everything is automatic. It's to gather enough resources to get sure that you can face the final boss on time. Because this video is already too long and we already discussed all the systems of the game. Uh, I advanced a few rounds, and basically the game is now ready to go to the end of the case. So basically, when you are at the end of the case, so you fulfill the conditions of the last paragraph. In this case, 6 XP in the mansion. Automatically, the the case investigation finished. So we fulfill this, and now, as the cards say, the research is over. We can refill our action dice. We can spend the unused XP of the areas in resources, and we can do any action location that doesn't imply rolls, like buying items or rest or whatever. So we'll try to get the most of it. Uh, for example, we start with 4 dice, but we can use one of these free XP with 3 XP points. Here we can buy another dice that it will be used for the final attack. We don't have anything else. Here we have 2 XP that we can exchange for 1 of money. Here we have other 2 XP here for another money. Let's get two weapon, two armor. Okay, we can get spend three to get more magic. We can get two to get more meds. We already we can spend these two to heal us and buy them again. And okay, now basically we don't have anything else to spend, so now we are able to face the boss of this case. uh, it's like any other encounter. There are hit points, a lot of hit points. He do a lot of damage, and well, we are doing 3 damage in physical or with mind. uh, so basically in this combat we'll have these 5 dice. This means that we can uh, distribute it as we want. So for the first turn, for the first attack and defense, we'll decide to use only 2 dice. Then we'll roll here attack and defense, and these 2 dice will move here. And for the second round, we'll decide if we want to use 2 dice or maybe 3 dice if we need more power. But basically, the only limitation is that, yeah, at the end of the game, we start with all the dice fresh, and even with some more if we have saved some resources. But the enemy has a lot of hit points, do a lot of damage, so we'll have to strategically decide how we use these action dice. We can, for example, decide to use all of the 5 dice in the first turn, so we'll do sorry a lot of damage. But maybe if we don't kill it in a single turn, then in the next turn we won't have any action dice, and it will be worse. So, well, this is basically the game. Yeah, it has been a very long explanation, but I thought that it was more interesting if you could see at least a few rounds of a real game to see how it works. So I hope that you test the game and you like it. And well, thanks for being here.